I don't normally speak like this. I'm not the guy who throws around big words or poetic lines, but that night, standing outside in the cold, with my phone in my hand, and the message halfway typed, the words just came out. Don't miss it, my queen. I'm referring to you. I stared at the screen for a few seconds before hitting send. It was risky, bold, maybe too much, but I meant every word. See, we weren't together, not officially. We weren't broken either. Just stuck in that weird middle space where everything feels like love but nothing is said out loud. I'd been keeping it inside, scared to ruin what we had. But watching her drift away lately, becoming quieter, more distant, was slowly breaking me. She had been different for the past few weeks. Not in a dramatic way. She still showed up when I called, still laughed at my dumb jokes. But I could feel it, like she was moving closer to some door I didn't want her to walk through. There was this art exhibit in the city she always wanted to see. She mentioned it once months ago, while we were on the train, talking about dreams. It was a small thing, but the way her eyes lit up when she spoke about it, I remembered. So I got 2 tickets. Not the cheap kind, either. The kind that lets you skip the lines, where they treat you like someone who matters. And when I sent her that message, it wasn't just about the exhibit. It was about everything. I wanted her to know I saw her, that someone still believed she deserved to feel like a queen. Not because of her beauty or her charm, but because of how she carries the weight of her world and still manages to show up. After I hit send, I stared at my phone. 10 minutes, no reply. 15, still nothing. I started thinking maybe I messed up. Maybe she didn't want this from me. Maybe she was already letting go and just hadn't told me yet. But then, just as I was about to slide the phone into my pocket, it buzzed. One line. If you're still referring to me, I'm not missing it. I exhaled so deeply, I swear I felt something lift off my chest. That night, everything changed. Not because of the art or the fancy tickets, but because I finally said what I should have said long ago. I see you. I choose you. And I'm not scared to say it anymore. The night of the exhibit came faster than I expected. I spent too long staring at the mirror, fixing my collar like it mattered. I wasn't trying to impress her with clothes. She'd seen me in worse, but something about this night felt different. Like it wasn't just about the event. It was about showing up, fully present, for someone who mattered more than I ever admitted. She arrived 5 minutes late, but the way she walked toward me made it feel like time slowed down. She wore this long, flowing coat, hair down, no fancy makeup, just her effortlessly glowing in the city lights. "Hey," she said, calm and soft, but her eyes were asking 100 questions. "Hey," I replied, trying not to sound nervous. No hugs, no small talk. Just this strange unspoken moment, like both of us were waiting to see if the other still felt the same. Then she smiled. Not a wide one, but enough to crack the wall between us. "You remembered," she said, looking at the ticket in her hand. "Of course," I said. "You told me once." That was enough. Her smile grew, but I saw something else too, a flicker of guilt maybe. Like she was sorry for drifting away, for not saying what she felt when she had the chance. But she didn't need to say anything. I wasn't here to point fingers or talk about what went wrong. I was here to remind her of what still could go right inside the exhibit. The world faded, the soft lights, the quiet music, the hum of curious voices around us. It all disappeared the moment she slid her hand into mine. I didn't expect that. Her fingers, small and warm, curled gently around mine like it was the most natural thing in the world. "You okay?" I asked, almost whispering. She nodded. "I think I've been waiting for this, for us to stop pretending." That hit me hard, because truth is, I had been pretending too. Pretending that it didn't hurt when she grew quiet. Pretending that I was okay watching her pull away. But I wasn't okay. I wanted her. Not halfway. Not in pieces. But all of her. Something abstract. Reds and blues swirling in ways I couldn't make sense of. She stared at it like it was speaking to her. "You still like it?" I asked. She nodded slowly. "It reminds me of messes that still feel beautiful." I didn't know what to say to that, but I didn't need to, because in that moment I realized something. We were that mess, unsure, complicated, not always easy, but still beautiful, still worth fighting for. We wandered deeper into the gallery, not saying much, but silence between us wasn't heavy anymore. It was soft, comfortable, like we didn't need to fill it with words, just to feel connected. At one point, she gently leaned her head on my shoulder. No warning, no ask, just trust. It made something shift inside me. I'd spent so long wondering if she'd moved on, if I was still someone she thought about at night, if she ever reached for her phone, typed a message to me, and deleted it before sending. I used to imagine her doing that more than I should have. But here she was, right next to me, holding on, leaning in, choosing me in this moment, without needing to say it out loud. Then we stepped into the last room of the exhibit. That's when everything stopped. There was a single piece in the middle, framed in gold, under a soft spotlight, a black canvas with only one thing in the center, a handwritten sentence. "Don't miss it, my queen. I'm referring to you." Her grip on my hand tightened. She looked at me like her chest had just filled with something warm and scary, all at once. "Did you?" she started to ask, voice shaky. I nodded slowly. I asked the artist to include it. I whispered, "It's not part of the original collection. He owed me a favor." She stared at it, like she couldn't believe it was real. "I wasn't sure you'd come tonight," I added, heart racing, but I had to take the chance. I had to remind you, no matter how far apart we drift, no matter what comes between us, I'll always see you that way, my queen, the one I still choose. She turned to me then, fully, eyes glassy, lips pressed together like she was holding back everything she'd wanted to say for months. "You didn't give up," she said, almost like she was still trying to believe it. "You really didn't give up." "I couldn't," I said quietly. "You're not something I could ever just walk away from." She stepped closer, inches from my face now. The noise around us faded again. I couldn't even hear my own heartbeat anymore. Only her breathing, only her presence. Then she said something I'll never forget. "Take me home. Not just tonight. I mean, take me home for good." We didn't rush out of the gallery. We walked slowly, hand in hand, like two people trying to savor every second of the new beginning they'd waited far too long for. She didn't look back at the painting, and she didn't need to. It had done its job. The car ride was quiet, but not awkward. Her fingers traced soft circles on the back of my hand while we drove, and I kept glancing over, trying to memorize her all over again. The little things I'd missed, the way she looked out the window with her lips slightly parted, the way her nose scrunched up when she smiled at something only she could see in her head. When we got to my place, she paused at the doorway, like it held 1,000 memories and 1,000 questions. "Still feels like mine too," she said, almost shyly. I opened the door for her. It's always been yours. I was just keeping it warm. She stepped inside, and I swear it was like something shifted in the air. The living room lit up in a way it hadn't in months. Her scent, her energy, her laugh. It was like the place remembered her and woke up because of it. I watched her move around like muscle memory, tossing her scarf over the same chair, kicking off her shoes by the couch, heading straight for the shelf where she'd once left her favorite books. You didn't move them, she said softly. Didn't want to mess anything up. I replied, I was hoping you'd come back and pick up where you left off. She turned around and looked at me with this strange mix of joy and sadness in her eyes. Like she was happy to be here, but mad at herself for ever leaving. Or maybe mad at life for pulling us apart. We didn't talk much more that night. We curled up on the couch, under the blanket, that still smelled faintly of the last time she was there. We watched something on TV that neither of us paid attention to. Her head rested on my chest, and her hand stayed wrapped around mine like she was afraid to let go again. And for the first time in what felt like forever, I slept without waking up in the middle of the night reaching for a ghost. That morning, I woke up before her. She was lying there, peaceful, mouth slightly open, hair a mess across the pillow, and I just stared. Because somehow, even after all the fights, the distance, the doubt, we were here, right where we were always meant to be.